You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Circa, the updated win totals for college football. A lot of the Power 5 schools they have on here. LSU, I won't bury the lead. They got LSU at 9, which is pretty consistent with where we've seen LSU 9, 9.5. Actually, at 9, that's a way better value buy than at 9.5. So if you're looking for where you should maybe place your bet, as Otter tells us, it pays to shop around. That's a good indicator to get LSU at 9 instead of 9.5. How about Bama and Ole Miss both at 9.5 as well, and Georgia just at 10.5? I say just at 10.5, but really what we've typically seen with Georgia is them at 11.5. So it's basically, do you think they're gonna go undefeated, or will they stumble somewhere? And 10.5 to go over 10.5 feels like good value for Georgia with another game to play with their little wiggle. So Ole Miss 9.5. That was probably my one biggest takeaway looking at LSU and Ole Miss side by side. They got LSU at 9, Ole Miss at 9.5. It really feels like that game. I'm going to keep that. You talk about harping on things. I'm going to keep harping on this. That game at the end of September in Baton Rouge for both teams is going to be the game that both look back at the end of the season. If both of the one of those teams ends up 9-3 and one ends up 10-2, I think we're going to look at that game, and whoever won that game in September with LSU and Ole Miss is going to be the one that ultimately finds himself at 10-2 and in the college football playoff in a 12-team playoff. Muse, any of them stand out to you?
Yeah, so I'll step out of the SEC and look at teams in new conferences. USC at 7.5 stood out to me, especially with the over being plus money right now. Because, LSU obviously is their opener. LSU hasn't won an opener since 2019. And LSU's a 6-point favorite in that game. SC could easily win that. And when you look at the rest of their schedule, you can find 8 wins. They have to go to Michigan. That'll be tough. But they get Penn State. They get Penn State at home. They face Wisconsin, Maryland, Rutgers, Notre Dame's at home. I know they went 7-5 last year, so it's easy to put it there. Do you think they can get there? But get one more win. But you can find 8 wins on this schedule preseason. So that's an interesting number to me with USC at 7.5.
Maybe the bigger point of that all in is the teams changing leagues.
Yeah.
Look at what happened last year with UCF and Houston and Cincinnati, all the teams going into the Big 12, into the Power 5. We made a joke of it all throughout last year that they were all the teams at the bottom of the Big 12 standings, taking that step up in competition. Same is true for the teams going from the Pac the Pac to the Big 10. Look at all of them. Look at UCLA, 5.5. But UCLA is coming to Baton Rouge. And I know LSU lost to UCLA out there a couple of years ago, but no Chip Kelly. You lost your defensive coordinator as well to USC. You lose DTR at quarterback. I guess you lost him last year, but Dante Moore is gone now as well, transferring. But 5.5. That feels like a layup for LSU. LSU should win both of those games. That's obviously going to knock their total down as well. Look at Washington. Washington's at 7 from the national championship game to 7.
Yeah.
Jed Fish is there. I think we all agree Jed Fish is a good coach coming from Arizona, where he sort of resurrected that program. Will Rogers may ultimately win the starting quarterback job there, but it's less, I think, about the talent there or the coaching there. It's more the change in league. It is an undeniable step up in competition instead of going from, we used to call the Pac USC and their 9 brothers or whatever that variant, which would be with the Pac-12. Now you're going to a league where week in and week out, especially with the travel, it's just going to be tough. I think it's going to be really tough on those teams going from the Pac to the Big Ten, especially. So, and then Texas and Oklahoma. Look at Oklahoma.
7.5.
Oklahoma's at 7.5.
Yeah.
If they go 7-5 year one in the SEC, at what point do the people in Oklahoma say Brent Venables this ain't it? This ain't cooking. So, Texas. Look, Texas is double digits. They're at 10, 10.5.
Their schedule though.
So
man.
I get it. And they also got.
Yep.
They were a playoff team. You got Quinn Ewers back, and I think a lot of people are going to look at Texas and be favorable toward them, especially since they went and won in Tuscaloosa last year. They proved they could win on the road in the SEC. The question is, can you win week in and week out in the SEC? That's what they'll have to answer. So, anyway, just interesting fodder right now, food for thought, as the sports books keep updating these win totals now as the second round of this spring portal has come and gone. Circa updated their win totals today. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.